Hey folks, welcome to Guitar Daily. It's Nick Granville coming to you from Wellington, New Zealand. So today I thought I'd talk about keeping yourself accountable for certain things. So I've gone and done it. I've gone and purchased something with the idea of keeping myself accountable. And I thought there's various things you can talk about this with music that are really useful, I think. A useful way of thinking. So I've gone and done it. I've gone and purchased this. I've been talking about it for a while about building a guitar. For those who don't know, I do woodworking as a bit of a hobby. It's sort of something I took up about 5 or 6 years ago. I used to do it a lot when I was a teenager and a kid and into my 20s, and kind of stopped for a while. And around the time of lockdown, like a lot of people, I kind of took up a bit of woodworking, got into it, and I've started building things just around the house. Letterboxes for my grandfather. I built furniture, stuff for the kitchen, all stuff like that. But I've been talking about building a guitar for a while, and I thought, I'm not going to do this unless I actually commit to it. And so I've gone ahead and done it. I bought a neck. I was really impressed with the necks that Dom had on those Pearson instruments, you know, the headless guitar, and he cuts it off right here. And I saw that he was selling some Strat replacement necks. I'm not sure where they come from, but they're the same neck that he has on those. So roasted maple. I think they're stainless frets, which I'm not crazy about, and these aren't particularly great, but they're okay. They're enough. But I really was impressed with the feel of it more than anything, and I thought if I buy the neck, it's gonna force me to sort of have to build a guitar body around it. So I'm thinking a kind of a Telecaster sort of shape, but with some sort of arm cut, tummy cut, that kind of thing. With this kind of look not too dissimilar to this. It'll be but with the telly joint across here, coming in a little closer. And I'm gonna try and make it all out of scrap wood that I've got lying around from various projects. I'm going to use it from scrap parts. So I've got the wiring harness and all that stuff out of my Ibanez AZ that we just replaced. I'm going to chuck that in it. I got an old pickup sitting around somewhere there. I'm going to try and do it without spending any more money than just this. And these are very well priced. So I thought I'd take you along for the ride and kind of show you what happens. And now I'm no luthier by any means. I'm just someone who plays the instrument and doesn't particularly know much. But I kind of figure what can really go wrong. This is the hardest bit. The truss rod and all that, I kind of didn't want to do it on my first go. But I'm going to build the body, right? And I think I can do that. And if anything goes wrong, I'll just take it to someone who knows what they're doing and they'll fix it up, or I'll start again. It's not the end of the world. You know what I mean? So I'm going to do it. But it kind of made me think about accountability. It's a real thing that's totally worth you thinking about. So, for example, one way you can keep yourself accountable is if you're wanting to learn this thing, like you want to learn the guitar. And see, think about taking guitar lessons with somebody. Instead of booking one lesson, book 4 lessons, right? And what will happen is by booking 4 lessons, you'll probably get a cheaper rate from the person. Most people will do a discount for a booking of 4 lessons in advance. I know I do. Most people do. But if you book one, then when you get busy, it's very easy to kind of fall off on it and not kind of keep up with it. But if you book 4 and you've paid for it, now you're accountable to something, right? You're gonna make an effort to make sure you do those 4, right? So it makes you kind of accountable in a way, right? It's an interesting thing. I remember my old guitar teacher, John O'Connor, he wanted to build a yacht. I know, what an ambition, eh? Actually, he lives on it a bunch of times a year, sails to the South Island of New Zealand, and lives a pretty good life on the yacht when they do. But he bought an engine, right? Bought the engine for the boat, didn't have a boat, and then now, okay, you're committed to having to build a boat around it. So it kind of keeps you accountable. Another thing in terms of accountability that you can do, I often talk to students and people about, wanting to learn this. And I say to them, use Instagram as a platform, right? So say you've got a little thing that you're working on. Make a little 1 minute, Instagram's like a 1 minute video thing, right? Maybe it's something like this. And you're kind of struggling with it. Make a little video, however long the video has to be, and then post it on your Instagram. You can make it just for you, or you can make it, say, for you and, say, your guitar teacher to be viewable. And now you're kind of accountable to that thing, right? And put your goal on there. So go, my goal is going to be this. As soon as you put a goal out there into the world, now you're accountable to try and see that you can achieve it, right? So, and that's a really good one, the Instagram thing. So maybe go, okay, I'm going to do one Instagram video per week of 1 minute, And it's as much about learning as anything else. And maybe you'll get feedback. Maybe you'll make it public. Maybe you won't. You'll maybe just make it available to whoever. But whatever suits you, right? But you put this out there in the world and you go, right, this is going to be my thing that I'm keeping myself accountable for. That I do one video per week. And then from that, you're going to get better at stuff, right? Because you're seeing yourself playing, getting feedback from others, which, you always need to take feedback with a grain of salt, right? I've had so many people, some people tell me, one person tell me that something I play absolutely sucks, and the very next person tell me it was the most amazing thing that they've ever heard, and they're in tears. Like literally side-by-side comments, and you go, well, even if someone really likes what I do, I'm kind of looking for where my goal is with all of this stuff, right? So and partly that was why I did this YouTube thing of doing these daily videos. I figured I'm a professional musician. This is what I do. I don't do anything else. Can I not find a half an hour to an hour a day to make these videos where I talk about playing the guitar and making music and stuff? And I thought, surely I can, right? Surely I can find half an hour a day to an hour a day to do this. And so I committed to that. So I put it out on the internet, and then it was like, okay, now I have to do it. I'm accountable to that action that I made. And I think that goes a long way. So try it for yourself, right? Try and do something that makes you accountable. So here's my one. I'm now accountable. I have a neck, so I have to build a body around it. I'm going to have to figure this out. I know I've got the woodworking skill to do it. I know I've got the tools. I've got a table saw. I've got a bandsaw. I've got a router table. I've got a whole heap of Japanese chisels. I've got nice stuff to work with. So I know I've got the tools to do it, and I've got joinery skills, so I know how to do that stuff. The thing I find hardest with the woodworking part, and to do with any of the stuff, is actually sanding. I have a bunch of sanding machines and stuff, but you sit there holding something on a sanding machine, like, maybe you're holding the machine like this, or on a belt sander or a disc sander or whatever, and it's kind of doing this, and you do that for half an hour. Afterwards, you feel like your fingers are still doing this. And then I try and play guitar, and all of a sudden it's like, where have my chops gone? Like, I can't play like as fast as I normally can, right? And that's because you've sort of put your hands under stress and tension. So I find if I've got a major concert, I don't touch that stuff at all for at least two days before, right? Because I want to have my facility be as good as possible. So I've got to kind of have windows of time. But that's just me, and so I make it work. I'm super careful with my hands. I don't take any risks at all. I'm not willing to lose a finger. I'm not even willing to cut myself unless, accidents happen, but I'm super careful about it. It's one of those things. These are how I make my living. Right, but anyway, so do something to make yourself accountable for the goals you want to achieve, and you'll find that your playing will improve immensely because of it. Because you're going to have to do the thing now, because life gets in the way of stuff, doesn't it? Right, we get busy, kids, house payments, rent. Whatever, school if you're a teenager, like whatever you've got in your life, is sport. These things get in the way of doing this thing, right? And it's easy to kind of, when you get busy, to find a way not to do this. But yeah, do something to keep yourself accountable. Hope this has been useful. If it has, please subscribe. I'll keep you updated on this. If you've already subscribed, then thank you very much. I appreciate you being here. The Buy Me a Coffee's link below. Like the video, all that kind of stuff helps. I'll play you out with some sounds. Let's do this. I like the sound.